Hey, what's up guys? It's Andy back with a review for Level 1 Gaming, and today we're going to talk about Far Cry 6. So this game has been out for almost a year now. It's been a while, but there have been lots of patches, lots of updates, as well as tons of new content added to the game, and we're going to go over some of that for you. So hopefully most of you have either seen or played Far Cry 6. It's a great addition to the Far Cry series. 6 is more of an open world sandbox that gives Far Cry more of a sort of refreshing feel while still sticking true to these amazing character building storylines and making you feel attached to some of the characters, old as well as new. So let's get right into it. So I know for a fact when Far Cry 6 was first released, people had quite a few bugs. I know PS5 had issues with screen tearing, and as far as I know, they've all been patched and fixed. I had no issues playing this on the Xbox Series X as well as on the PC, which it is free weekend right now on the PC, as well as Amazon Prime Gaming. You can get it for free until July 1st on Amazon Prime Gaming for PC. So if you don't have the game, you can definitely go cop it right now for free if you have Amazon Prime. So I recommend you do that. It's worth copping and not missing out on it. It is a great game. So the latest patches have fixed a lot of crash fixes, have fixed screen tearing on the PS5, as well as a bunch of quality of life issues. So they added a major update in the past that added Rambo All Blood. And so that's most of the DLC that I really enjoyed playing. Were they added one mission where you meet up with Danny Trejo, and he sort of owns a taco business, and they're trying to take his taco business and confiscate the tacos, and you sort of fight off waves of enemies with Danny Trejo, and it's really fun. It's a small quick little mission, and you get an awesome chopper at the end of the mission. They also added a Rambo All Blood mission where you run into a Rambo fanatic that tells you to go out and basically steal this Rambo memorabilia that he really wants. On the mission, you find the Rambo sort of grenade bow, the impact bow, and you basically just go around with the bow, shredding tons of enemies, waves of enemies, and at the end, you get to keep the bow, and the bow is super OP. It's part of my main inventory now. And then the third and best update that they added was the Stranger Things Far Cry crossover. It was totally awesome. It was super fun. It's 3 chapters. It's really cool. You know, you fight the Demigorgon, and it's just an awesome patch. They did an awesome job incorporating Stranger Things into the Far Cry world. It was a really fun mission. I don't want to give too much of it away. As you can see, we got some gameplay of it for you, but the story was pretty awesome, and it has the Stranger Things feel, and it's just really cool mission, as well as you get to keep the skins and some of the weapons. So you get like this incendiary shotgun and this fully decked out like assault rifle with canted sights, and it's super OP actually. I use also the assault rifle in my main inventory. In fact, in the middle of doing the Stranger Things mission, I sort of got booted, right, back to the regular world where Danny is from, back to Yara, and I cleared a base using the Stranger Things weapons so quickly because the weapons are so good and so OP. And then I went back into the Stranger Things mission and quickly finished it off. And it was really cute, really satisfying. I thought it was pretty awesome. It was a really good mission. And then, of course, you get to keep the guns afterwards. So each of these missions that they've added, these crossovers, Rambo, Danny Trejo, Stranger Things, you get something after completing it. And so I recommend, if you're a player that hasn't played the game yet, I would take the time out to do the mission early on, so you kind of get these OP really cool guns, and then it kind of helps you progress through the main story, right? So the missions were really fun. The Rambo mission was really short. The Stranger Things one is the longest of the three. It's probably the most rewarding and the most fun, so I definitely recommend it. And then they also have their three major DLCs, of course, and those DLCs are really cool rogue gameplay. So you get to take control of three old bosses from the past, three villains, right? So you play as Vas Montenegro, Pagan Min, and Joseph Seed, all played by their original cast, and you're basically dropped into their own minds, right? And it's sort of like this when I mean roguelike game, if you guys has never played like Hades before, right? Like Hades, where you sort of drop in. Every time you die, you have to start over from the beginning. But you can purchase these upgrades along the way so that next time you load into the mission and try again to get through all the levels, all the tiers, you kind of have more of a chance because you have upgraded your core abilities, right? So you drop in with just the pistol, and then as you keep playing, you can get more guns, more things. The only thing I would say about it is obviously it's a little repetitive because you're just fighting waves of enemies, and each three of the DLCs are similar, like they're pretty much the same, except if you played the old Far Cries and you liked the old villains and stuff, it's kind of fun because you get more of a story, more of a background, right? You learn more about these characters if you complete this mission. But it's also, trying to keep this Far Cry 6 open world sandbox feel, and this sort of like run and gun and shoot 'em up style that you can kind of have with a roguelike game. And so I would say that unfortunately you don't have to upgrade a lot, right? Like it's not very grindy because once you have enough money to buy the AR and maybe like the grenade launcher or the shotgun, you can kind of just run through the waves of enemies. Like you don't have to keep upgrading. Maybe a few abilities. Eventually you'll just have a bunch of extra points and you're not really spending them on anything because you have everything you feel like you need to complete all the tiers. So there's that. And all three of them are basically kind of the same, just different characters, different stories, like mini stories. Um, it's kind of worth it if you're an OG fan of Far Cry 6, of Far Cry series, and you kind of want the story and the background of these characters from the past. And if you're a new player, it's also still kind of worth it because you get to learn about someone that you don't know about, right? If you never played Far Cry, now you get to be introduced to these new people, these new characters, because the characters are part of what makes Far Cry great, right? Like even this game in Far Cry 6, like Danny is really awesome, and you meet a bunch of other awesome characters like Juan, and they sort of make you connect, right? So it does have that great, interesting story. So aside from the DLC, some of the updates that they have done, not just fixing, the bugs and stuff, they did add some quality of life changes like ammunition swapping straight from the weapon wheel, so you don't have to go all the way back to a workbench. They added loadouts so that if I want my sniper class and I want a sneaky class, like so I can go in and like sort of assassinate people with the machete, or do I want to run and gun and have, close range shotguns, SMGs, you can have up to 4 loadouts with different weapons, so you can swap between the loadouts instead of always having to go into the menu and change every single slot, right? So they added loadouts, which was a great quality of life change, I think, for the game and made it better. It does unlock after a few missions in, not too far in, but just a few missions in. You can reset outposts now. So like all the FND bases that you have captured in the past, let's say you cleared the map or something, you can actually abandon the military base and give it back to the military control. And then you could do the base again, but next time you do it, you get better rewards, and the player level will increase +4. They also added a new difficulty mode, guerra mode, like guerrilla mode, like the increased difficulty. The combat difficulty has been increased because honestly, the game was like super easy. Um, Especially if you picked, you want just for the story, it will be really easy. But they made the AI a little bit more accurate, less Stormtrooper like. It's still pretty Stormtrooper like depending on what difficulty you pick, but it's less than before. They kind of fixed it a little bit. They also reduced the amount of ammo you find in pickups and the amount of gadgets you have in your inventory to sort of give it a little bit more of a harder game, right? In this new mode. And then of course, you lose all your major UI and HUD elements and all that stuff. So when you start this new mode, you will not be able to reduce the difficulty once you start it, and you will have all those changes, right? Like increased AI detection and more accuracy, less ammo pickups, less gadget pickups, less grenades and EMPs and other gadgets in your inventory, and the UI and stuff will not show like where all the enemies are and ping them for you. So you have to deal with that. Yeah, so it's been a really great great change. I would say that I did not experience a lot of bugs in the game. I thought I had a bug when I was doing the Stranger Things mission when I got sort of booted out. Like it went to a cutscene and then all of a sudden I was back at the beginning of the mission. But then when I loaded back in, I did not have to start the mission over. It just put me right where I left off. And that's where I sort of I cleared a base using the Stranger Things weapons in between the Stranger Things storyline, right? Because it kind of kicked me out. So, uh, that was only one thing I experienced, and then also I had an issue with my Xbox Series X and HDR where the game would look super oversaturated. I usually play with like 4K HDR, all that stuff off because I want high refresh rates, especially now with next gen consoles going up to 120. You want the smoothness and the sort of snappiness of a high refresh rate when you're aiming and shooting. Not that this is a competitive game or a competitive shooter, but it's just like you get used to it and you would rather have higher FPS, than having sort of things like ray tracing, shadows and water, showing reflections and stuff like that. So, HDR usually is off for me anyway, but I did notice that when I had it on, it just looked like the saturation was way too high, almost like I had a filter on, and it did not look good. I know that back in the day there was a bad bug with the music would not properly loop, and there were a couple of glitches with the new DLC. Um, where when you were trying to get in with a co-op player, right? When you would do co-op with your friend, you would get like this black screen and you kind of had to restart the game, right? Every time you try to launch co-op, you would get this black screen and it was really annoying. But they fixed all those issues. Um, and they have a full list of patch notes out of all the things they have fixed since then. And like I said, for me, I didn't see a lot of these issues. The only issues I had was one quick bug where I got kicked out of the Stranger Things missions, but I kind of loaded right back in. And then I had another issue with the HDR. Aside from those two things, though, the game played really smoothly. It still looks just as amazing as it came out, and the DLCs were really fun. So, here's the deal. Do you need the DLC? Well, you never need the DLC, right? If you love Far Cry 6 and you want more of the story of previous characters, or you missed out on the old Far Cries and you don't want to play them, but you want to know who these guys are, it's worth it, right? Especially now that a lot of stuff for this game is cheaper because it's been out for a while. And especially if you get the Amazon Prime Gaming free download, right? You could get Far Cry 6 for free right now with Amazon Gaming. So if you buy the season pass for like 15 bucks, you basically can consider it like you paid 15 bucks for the game and all the DLC. right? So it's pretty much a pretty great deal right now, and I would look into copying that easily because I love Far Cry 6. I did like the new campaign. I love the actors. I love the voice actors and everyone that they picked. It was really amazing and fun to play. It can be a little bit grindy and stuff like that, so be prepared for that. But if you enjoy Far Cry 6, this is definitely up there. Far Cry 3 is probably still my favorite one, but I think that 6 will definitely go in the top 3. I did enjoy it a lot, and I like games. I like these open world sandbox type games like this, so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the content. If you like Assassin's Creed and stuff like that, and like finding all the little hidden elements and finding all the little things all over the map and clearing everything, then you'll love Far Cry 6, and then you'll love the story. Guaranteed, it has a really great story. So, I think you guys will enjoy the updates, whether you're playing on PS5, Xbox, or PC. I think that you don't have to worry too much about the bugs that it had when it first came out, or the stability of like the screen tearing that it had when it first came out. It looks like all those issues have been fixed. I had no issues playing this game aside from the ones that I mentioned. So, go check out the DLC. It's pretty awesome. Um, yeah, it's pretty awesome. You get to see Voss, you get to see Pagan, you get to see Joseph, and they're pretty cool stories that give you more character development. But of course, the most fun ones were definitely like the Stranger Things mission and the Rambo mission. They were really fun to play. I really enjoyed the Stranger Things mission, and you also get really cool stuff that you get to keep using in the main story mode, which is also really awesome. It's a good bonus. So check it out, Far Cry 6, free to play right now. I think till July 1st, if I'm not mistaken. It does say till July 1st. So if you have Amazon Prime, Amazon Prime Gaming, you can go get the game for free, and then you could pay like 15 bucks for the season pass, and you can get all the DLC. It's a great deal. It's like paying 15 bucks for the whole game. So go check it out. Far Cry 6 was really awesome. And make sure you tune in to our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel, Level 1 and Level 1 Gaming, which is our new channel just specifically about gaming, and our regular Level 1 channel for tech reviews and all that cool stuff that we have coming. So make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.